how would you like to achieve your first million? And today we have Matthew with us, which is an expert in how can you get free money. So Matthew, tell us, what are the 5 steps to make your first million?
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
To make my first million, the steps I took were the first 9 steps were all failure. And that's what it takes for anybody. I mean, you just have to get out and fail until you find something. And if you're taking anybody else's steps, I think that's a mistake, because you think that they will work for you, which it probably won't. And then that gives you an excuse to stop. If you take somebody else's steps to success, what happens, I think, you go along, maybe 1 works, 2 works, and then 3 doesn't work. And then you don't know why. So you just call the guy who gave you those steps an idiot. And you don't do anything about it. And the failures are the important part. So if you stop when you have a failure, then you're not going to learn and grow. And that's why I think taking somebody else's steps, and they have to charge you a lot of money. So they have to make you believe they know the truth, which they don't. And you have to build your own truth that works for you. And you only do that by falling on your ass and picking it up, falling on your ass again, and continue doing that until you get lucky. Lucky is trying a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, but
That's what lucky is. What?
Matthew, we can agree that having some strategy, some blueprint can help us to reduce the failure. Like for example, get funding for your business. I think that if you're an entrepreneur, I remember I never got a funding for my business. I have to grow organically, all of them, and
Right.
it's exactly what you described. It's a fear of the failure. And so I have just a little bit more money to invest in marketing. That would took my business to really fast to the end result. So sometimes strategy and blueprints are helping entrepreneurs, startup founders to grow the business. So in your opinion, do you think that in terms of finances, there are vehicles that startup founders and entrepreneurs can use that actually can alleviate that constant failure?
Yes. I mean, the thing is, there's tools out there that don't cost any money. So we think we need money a lot of times because we don't know our options. And so we know, hey, if I had a lot of money, if I had $100 million, I could just advertise the hell out of this, and probably it'd fail because you don't know enough what to advertise or how to advertise. I mean, so I don't pay for advertising. First of all, I feel out until I know what works. And you could do that now so much easier to find out what works because of social media. Before social media, you had to buy advertisement. And before what I did, and that's, I used to buy advertising, they'd all fail. And then,
Me too. I bought a lot of fail. Oh my God.
right. So here's my secret to do it. It's not a secret. You get free advertising. A couple ways to do that. One, I learned before the last, not on this, but not on social media, but before traditional media. Okay, I couldn't buy an ad, but there were so many talk shows that, okay, how do you get free advertisement? And you create a
That
story.
works. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And you create an idea and a story. So the advertisement writes about you. And I remember putting 1-inch ads in the Wall Street Journal, for my business. My first business was business to business. And I'd get people writing in on napkins, and they weren't legitimate ads. And then, well, I say none of that works. So how do I get the Wall Street Journal or somebody to write me up? So a press release and getting advertisement. Hey, look at this guy's going to tell you how to make $1 million, blah, 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 or whatever. And then with electronic media, and it was television back then, there were a lot of talk shows, and talk shows need guests. So what I would do, I would write a book for a year and then go to 50 cities
Wow.
after that. Yeah. And getting free advertisement by showing up in town. I'd be on the noon news, the morning news, the evening news, the radio talk shows, the TV talk shows. Good morning, Toledo, good afternoon, Toledo, good night, Toledo. They all need guests. So I would get with my expertise and get, like, I was on Letterman maybe 6, 7 times and for free. And so I get 7 minutes for free on Letterman. And in the half 7 minutes, you would stop and somebody would pay $50,000 for an ad. I didn't have $50,000, but I would act crazy to get 7 minutes for free.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's about being creative. And at the end, yeah, I remember back in the old days, when we bought advertising that some of them, they were terrible, yeah, and they sold really good. I remember one guy, when I used to have a restaurant, he came to me and said, we're gonna put the poster of your restaurant in Liverpool Street. Liverpool Street is one of the busiest metro and in station in London, right? So I'm like, wow, my ad is Liverpool Street is gonna bring me a client for my restaurant. So I pay I don't know, it was a contract for 2 years, thousands of pounds for that thing. Then the ad is on, and no one is coming, zero.
Exactly.
Literally zero. And I'm like, man, let me buy to Liverpool Street to see what is my ad, to see what happened, why no one comes.
Right.
I arrived and to pick time to the station. Yeah. And yeah, it's a really, really busy station. We're talking about thousands and thousands of people
Exactly.
walking around to take the train. But this is the problem. This exactly is the issue. Everybody's on a rush to pick the train. Nobody cares about the ad. That is really, especially when they put it, everybody was walking fast, where a completely different game is the point in a place that at least people stay and wait, which it was not the case when my ad was placed. My ad was placed in a corridor with everybody that walks into this corridor. The only intention they have is to run and get the train. So yeah. Been done it. Know what you're talking about. However,
that's what I found. I learned the same way, and I feel, well, you can't pay for something that somebody else, that it's worth to them. You have to find out what it's worth to you. Yeah. And that's why you do free sources or whatever to do that. And then you build up a way that you understand what works. So if you go free, the other way I did it, and I still do this now, is share. In other words, I'd make a TV commercial, a little 2-minute spot or something, and I go to TV stations and they say to me, how much is the commercial? And they give me thousands and thousands of dollars. I can't pay that. But if it's your commercial time, because they have to sell it to somebody, there has to be an ad there or whatever. If nobody buys it, use my commercial and I'll give you half the money I get. So I share whatever they get in. So like you with a restaurant, you say, here's a coupon or something like that. And so then they're coming in and you could afford that. You give them money. And I made lots of money on that. And I'm doing it again now that I'm finding out slowly what works on social media. Now it's all free. I just do, I could do 10 videos a day if I want, kind of stuff, and on YouTube and things like that. And that's tough and it's hard to scale. But I'll learn what it takes and what I know who she is now. I think I saw her in a clip behind here. Yeah.
You saw her behind my screen, right?
Yeah. Okay, now I know.
Lily, she spoke of you. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a delightful time.
Yeah, we are very colorful. That's why we like her.
Right. Yeah, I mean, at 81, I can't even remember. But that's all the marketing people, and that's why I say you're going to make $1 million and put an ad here. Okay, I'll give you half the money.
That's very creative. Yeah, that's very. In the end
And
of
that's
the
how
day,
you have to. You don't have money, you can't use traditional sources. It's all the big sources are all for people who have money. They don't
if
have
you
money.
start in a business, you become creative, and definitely you don't have money, and definitely
Exactly.
if you get some grant or some funding, and you're gonna use in advertising, you have to be very careful and to measure in small scales. Something, Matthew,
Absolutely.
that advertising actually it was a big aha moment for us. Something that we really enjoy about this new the advertising in what we call a pay per click in Google and
Oh, yes. Yeah.
YouTube
Yeah.
and whatever and Facebook, yeah, is that they are very measurable, so you can
Yeah.
measure how much you're spending, and you can tweak and you can fix it and you can
Right.
improve it with very little money until the process work, and then you
Yeah.
can scale.
Right.
And this was an advance in technology that in before before you put an ad, you don't
Right.
even know how many people are looking at it. Like you say, from the TV, yeah, you able to do advertise in a way that you will know that the clients come from the TV show, but
Right.
it's not like online, which is 100% until the laser print measurable. So until the last penny, how many people saw your ad, how many people are clicking, how many people are buying, how many people are thinking about. So this was a big, I think, a big revolution in the
Right.
advertising work. And but at the moment, yeah, saying that, yeah, the whole thing have become really expensive, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because they're getting it.
because everybody is on it, and those systems they work. It's like an auction. The higher bidder pays more. So
Right.
you want to target, I don't know, entrepreneur for this podcast, for example. Yeah, multimillionaires. Now you need to compete with everybody
Right.
that is targeting multimillionaires to do business with, which is something really expensive. And now you are in a fortune. Yeah. So again,
You,
we need
you,
to come
you
back,
can't play
Matthew.
the game.
Yeah, we have to come back to become creative again. Correct?
Right.
So
Exactly.
we're going
That's
back
not a game
to.
for you. The other people are going to outspend it, and they have so much money, it doesn't matter. And it matters to a small guy like you or me. So you can't play that game,
We have to
and
become
you have
creative,
to.
right? So but the
Yeah.
solution, I
you have
mean,
to-
but the what we to share with our audience is that if you are
Yeah.
creative enough,
Yes.
you can access
Exactly.
this. You just have to be creative. And
And even in creativity, it's not the only thing you have to worry about creativity is that it doesn't cost you anything because
yeah.
you think of stuff that you try things that you don't know what before your creativity is implemented, nobody has any idea. No matter you say it's wonderful, everybody says nobody knows except the people going to pay.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. And that's why. So for that pay for click, to me would be okay. So you have a little idea. That may give you a little, the clicks you're getting. It would be other media markets. I mean, there's so much media. So, instead of Google or whatever, I mean, it's what other ways. Or another thing is to me is partnership. Uh, so if you have
A
uh,
partnership is good.
yeah. Say, okay, you have a restaurant. Okay. So, I mean, in our, say the guy selling tuxedos or cakes, weddings or something. Hey, if you have a reception at Luigi's or your place, you get a 20% discount. Yeah. And so the cake guy, gives a coupon or something to this guy at 20% off, and you kick the guy back 10% or something like that. That who has a market that peanut butter and jelly, ham and eggs. What makes sense with your product? How do you enhance? Because everybody's looking for more stuff. Uh, somebody is a dating site. Okay. Whoa, this is a great place for cocktails.
Absolutely, exactly. Yeah,
And so
about strategic partnerships. Yeah, just find the those people that have your audience, but they don't
right,
date with you, correct? Yeah.
exactly. And
So,
that,
Matthew, tell us a little bit more about this free money that you help people with.
well, it's free money, government money. Government in the United States is big, and it's big for everybody. We make, actually, the United States makes more millionaires than anybody else. But we probably already knew that. This is a list of
This I
millionaires.
agree.
Yeah, 24 million millionaires in the United States, million and billionaires. China has 6 million, Japan 3 million, the UK about 3 million too. So you're even with Japan. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, we're not bad in UK. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So a lot of millionaires there. But listen to this. The United States has most more millionaires, but in the developed countries, the United States is number one in creating poor people. In all the developed countries, our poverty rate, the rate, the people in poverty is the highest in the world in developed countries, not underdeveloped
Yeah,
countries.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So like United Kingdom is about 12%. Yeah. We're more than, I mean, that's astounding to me. And so we have programs, but we have programs and the government gives out money, billions. I mean, you see like Trump won the lottery, or no, that's the president, you call it. He won the president. Oh, what the hell they do with that? So he won the president's race, and our government gives out $17,000 per adult every year, just as living expenses. And it's all incomes. There's actually more given out to millionaires. Like here's a new chart I just did last night for people to pay their utilities. Okay. And it gave out last year $8 billion. People making 100,000 to 100 million, that's the top 25%, got more money to pay their utilities than anybody else. The people making less than 30,000 got peanuts. They got less than 1%. The millionaires get it. That's why Donald Trump, is followed around by all the billionaires. Elon Musk and all these people are just kissing his butt right and left because they know that's where money is. Now, what I think is even more important, particularly for entrepreneurs, is help. And we have not only money to help. I mean, every city gives out grants to businesses. Every state does. Nonprofit organizations. It's what I call the caring economy, or the caring economy, as opposed to, we have two societies here, and I think you have them too in the UK, where we have capitalism, and then we have the caring society, capitalism side of caring. Capitalism is 2/3 of all the economy is involved in capitalism, but a third of our economy is involved in this caring, where it helps people. It's like you and a neighbor, and your house is on fire. You don't say, "Hey, no, I want me to help you? I'll charge you $100 an hour or something." No, you go out and help people because you're a neighbor. We're living in this world together.
Yeah.
And so that's our caring side. So that happens, at least in the States, through nonprofit organizations and government offices and churches and things like that. But they don't advertise. See, nobody knows that because they go to Google and all they find out is the capitalist society, and everybody in Google wants your money. So if you're looking for 10,000 something, or even marketing money, there's a lot of grants that cities give out just for marketing money to advertisers. I mean, to small businesses in the States, because they want you to succeed. Because if your business grows, then the community grows. So they have money to do those kinds of things. But people go to Google to look for it, and all you'll find is Google is people want to take your money, not give you money.
But they're very difficult to find those grants. Yeah. The people
That's
don't
what I
know
said.
about it. They're different to find them. They're also difficult to write them, to apply for it, right?
Not really. I mean, some of them, and that's what people see. They see the big ones, but most of them, like under $50,000 for a business, it'll be two or three lines, 2 or 3 pages, fill in the blanks. But it's our concept we heard of, because somebody says, and they are, if you want to get $1 million or something, you're going to have to,
To
do
write
something.
a big proposal, yeah.
Right, exactly. But everything else, you don't need it. And even if that's true, you should not get a grant. Most people think that's true, so they go out and get a grant writer first, which is wrong because you haven't even seen the application. The hardest part is not the application, it's finding the right application. So that's what you have to work on, not getting someone to fill an application for you because you don't even know what the hell you should do, where they are. So the thing to do, what we have in the country is not our nonprofit organizations that will help you find the right programs. That's what you have to do. And we have a database here. I don't know how many people are watching from the US, but if you go to sba.gov and then slash local dash assistance, you will put in your zip code and you'll find 10, 20, 30, 40 nonprofit organizations in your community that are there to help you find out ways to get money and help to start or grow anything you want. And they're all free. Google will only charge you $10,000.
Yeah. So,
That's what.
so then, Matthew, so what do you think that biggest challenge have a startup founder have in United States to start a business?
The biggest, I think, is ourselves. We're our own worst enemy. We have all this stuff in our head about what's right or wrong and what's there and what's not there. And that stops us. Like you said, oh, all grants are complicated. No, see? And it's stuff that we come with. And I feel the only thing that's stopping an entrepreneur from success is them. They haven't tried enough. You talk to 10 people, that's fine, but boy, there is so many more. I mean, like I say, even on getting help, I mean, there's 10, 20 organizations. You have to call every one. You have to be ready to not just find that magic website and fill out a form. It doesn't have, no, you have to get on the phone, start talking to people, and the people who cannot help you, you have to ask them where else, because they are in the business of helping people like you, but maybe you don't fit the criteria for them, but they're still in that business. It's talking to somebody who knows that milieu or whatever that they're in, other people that are helping people, not people that are trying to sell you something. You got to hang around people that help people. So they're more likely to know other people that help people like you. You have to hang around the helping people, not the helping people. And find that because they want to. I mean, all these organizations, I mean, we spend, God, I mean, so much money. I mean, this money that given out to people just to help them start or do anything, but it's different in every city, things like that. So you have to find the people in your area that are responsible for businesses starting and growing. And every city has it. I mean, there'll be dozens of people that do that because that's how the politicians get elected. If everybody's happy, and they get happy with money and help to do things in life, or they get voted out and somebody else gives a shot at it.
Yeah. So, Matthew, regarding AI and advertising, do you think that AI is gonna facilitate and improve the work of the entrepreneurs, or
No,
it's gonna be that you're gonna be paying for that? Because in the end of the day, all this social media, it hasn't done for the entrepreneurs that now everybody needs to have a YouTube channel, everybody needs to have a Facebook, everybody needs to have a YouTube, everybody needs to have a TikTok, and now everybody needs to have a manager that create content on all those platforms you want to be in business. So all of the sudden, the whole thing have become a big overhead, huge, yeah. So that didn't exist before, yeah. Before it was none of them. Entrepreneurs before didn't have these overheads on to even talk about this overhead, but now this is the game, and now AI comes, and so what is it? What is the price that entrepreneurs they're gonna be paying for this AI technology? Is it actually
I don't see it as a price. I don't see anything as these are all just tools that pop up on our society. And when they're new, people, it's like computers when they first came into the world, because I'm old enough to remember, all the computers were doing was they said everybody needs a home computer, like to keep their recipes on. God, that's stupid,
how
but
people
everyone
were using
want to
the
be left
computers at the
behind.
beginning, right?
Right. You can't be left behind, so you buy a computer. It's just a way to, you have to find a car. Like you're gonna buy a big car and you don't travel. Why the hell you buy a car? Yeah. You have to see what it is. I use AI mostly because it's a wonderful research tool for me. This I did on AI.
Very good.
Yeah. And this I did on AI. You know, and whoa, that's how me the library used to be. The library, you go to research in the library, you get real information. Nobody's selling you, Hawaii vacations or anything like that. It's books, it's real information. That's what AI is, though. And I don't know, 3, 4 years from now, it's going to be full of crap and they'll be selling you something. But right now, see, for me, for the Giving Society, I go into AI and I'll say, give me all the programs in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, from government offices and nonprofit organizations, because I know they're the ones that give out money, and give me their websites in Pennsylvania that'll help me start a business. Pow, I'll get 50 right away. And I know them all. So I check this all the time. I know these are real sources. So it's great. If you go to Google and that, you get 200 million. And the ones that really give it to you, you'll never find them in there. So it's wonderful for my stuff,
A
trying to
very
educate.
effective search engine, right?
Yes, exactly. And it's not good on current stuff. It won't find out what happened yesterday, kind of thing. So they don't get that news. It maybe will be. But yeah, there's good. And organizing data. You want to see data in some form. I mean, the same thing. I just put in, uh,
Oh,
the top 10 places for millionaires. Here's another one I did. Oh, like insurance claim denials. Well, here's another one. I want to look at the income, the wages for the last 40 years of people, and like the 90% and the top 10%. The bottom 90% wages down, down, down. The top 10% up, up, up. Getting a smaller piece of
these
the pie.
these are the results coming from your research, yeah.
And it's me nothing. It's
Yeah.
fun.
And do
Yeah.
you remember when how difficult it was to write the letter, right? Especially or
Yes.
to write the contract, yeah, an agreement, and
Uh-huh.
now you go to that thing and it's done, right?
These are all tools. I mean, you use them and see if it's right for you or not. I mean, they shouldn't be anything to
Do you think that
change.
they can save business? There are some studies there. Maybe you're a great researchers that that all employees that are spending maybe 20 or 22% of the time doing repetitive tasks, and this can
It may be. I mean, the answer of all this is maybe. And what you have to do as an entrepreneur, you try it to see. You're the only one who can see and tell what it's going to do. And it's easy even to get the talent to do that. Now on places like Fiverr, Fiverr,
yes,
Fiverr. So you
yes.
say, okay, show me how to, take my Gmail inquiries and organize them, with and for $50 or something, you probably have that done if you want to do it. And you test it. You don't know. You don't want it to go by and ignore it, say it's stupid. It may be, but it may not be. So you have an obligation to try it, but not, oh, we're going to change everything and do it. That's silly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you really think that when government gives these grants, yeah, so, do you have to comply to those grants that sometimes they're given for you to fit certain purpose for marketing, for advertisement, for product development? Do you and some of those grants you have to give it back, right? Or you always the
No, I mean, unless you're a fraud or no, I'd never even seen any of that. Well, actually, now because the COVID grants were so big, people were pretending their businesses when they weren't. So they caught some of those people and had to give them back. No, that's the least of your problems. The problem, they're out there, but finding the right one.
Yeah, find the
That's
right one, and also use that you to have, I don't know, the right mentor, the right framework to use the money effectively. Because
yes,
if you use the money, but you find the money, but then you don't have enough skill, exactly like what you shared before. If you don't know
that's
enough
right.
marketing and
Right.
sales, and then you take money and you don't test small, it can disappear really quick, right?
I've seen that happen a lot. Oh, I know it'll
Operates.
work. And it doesn't. So you could spend $100 million on advertising and that what's happened when the .com happened in the 90s. The biggest place for advertising was the Super Bowl in the United States. So all these .com companies got billions of dollars from investors. They had no sales, but so they would buy advertising in the Super Bowl for $1 million and get a $10,000 of sales. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Absolutely. They have
Crazy.
money. That's why money makes you stupid.
Yeah.
And that's better to start. I mean, the first two businesses I started with money and they both failed. And 3 businesses after that, I never used them. They were
And
success. If you learn how to succeed without money, then you're able to take the ups and downs of the business, that we all have to live in. You know how to do that. If you only know how to spend money, you're not going to go.
sometimes having money to start your first business probably is not a good idea.
I believe
because
very much so.
if you, I remember my first business property, we managed to sell over 5 million, and we had to grow this organically. I didn't even know that grants existed. I didn't even know that thing existed. We basically
Good.
need to sell and take the money and reinvest and grow slowly like this. There was no other choice. We didn't have money, so
So
we
that's
we spending sacrifices our own needs, and this is the kind of way.
well, that's the right way in my mind, but I'm an old guy, so don't try. But it is because if you can't do it now, the tough times are going to come again. And so if you don't know how to do tough, you're not going to be there very long. And that's I
Yeah,
think
if you
learning.
absolutely, if you don't know how to handle the tough, Steve Jobs was saying that you only can the dots backwards. Yeah. So
Right.
Matthew, tell us what a little bit more why you decide to become entrepreneur. Yeah. Clearly
Uh,
failing at the beginning, you were wasting money and things
oh,
like that at the beginning. So why you keep going?
well, that's what people would say when I want to go start a business. Say, aren't you afraid to fail? I said, no, I'm more afraid of staying here in jail. Couldn't grow. It's the only thing I saw to be able to grow. And that's what we all have to grow our own way. I feel like we're all like a plant or a flower, but a certain kind of flower that needs the right kind of pot to grow in. If you plant it in a different kind of pot that you can't grow, then you as a human aren't going to be satisfied because you can't grow. And it's all about growing. Now at 81, I mean, I'm still growing. I'm still having fun. I
Well,
have
I
so
see
much
you
fun
very
now.
active. Yeah, you're researching a lot of data. Yeah, you are
And
checking what's going
oh
on.
yeah, and that keeps me alive in a way, and because I keep growing, and I'm so happy now because I don't a lot of the basics I don't have to worry about eating and stuff like eating too much I worry about, but not
Me too.
not feeding myself. Yep. When you're young and starting out and learning how to make a living, but I'm having so much fun now. I was thinking to myself, God, why didn't I become 80 earlier? I wish I got here sooner. This is so much fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And
That's a,
but it's hard to find ourselves because I feel we're all afraid of life. We don't know what to do. We're all guessing. It's a guessing game. So we look for experts to tell us what to do, and they don't know either, but they pretend.
but they try
Give it
to.
a, yeah, because they have to charge a lot, so they have to convince you that they know. And they don't. And what we need, I think, more are just comfort around. That's why to me, I feel love. That's another thing I work on more is love. Man, before I was a younger guy, it was all about muscles. I got to get stronger. I got to get faster. I got to get smarter. Now, no matter how much I try that, it's not going to get better. All those things are going down. But the one thing I can get better at is loving and growing your heart that you could do at any age. And that's been a joy and a comfort worthy because when you use that thing, that somehow makes everything inside of you so much easier and nicer and whatever it is. I'm not educated enough to have that language to describe it like poets do or something like that. Uh, but it is so rewarding to even say the
100%.
word. I couldn't even say the word 10 years ago.
100%. You know, you get paid better currency. You know, when you, I know that because I've been, you know, I do a lot of conference all over the world, and
Right.
we speak a lot, and sometimes people recognize us on recognize on the street, or you know, I'm taking the metro,
Right.
and sometimes you see people that say Harry. I always there's people, so people cannot.
Right.
They when they miss me, they're really sure that it's me.
I
So
understand. I
they say,
understand.
Harry, is that man? I saw your conference that day. It was amazing. This family, I did the business. I did what you say, man. And look, and
Yeah,
I'm doing amazing. And you know,
yeah,
you feel a little bit. I feel a little bit embarrassed sometimes in the metro when this happened to me. But when I arrive home,
yeah,
I'm thinking like, wow, this is unbelievable that I say even remember
right,
in a I don't even remember
right,
actually transform the life of someone, and the level of fulfillment, the level of joy, the level of
yeah,
that this gives to you cannot compare with any money in the bank. You know, you
absolutely,
get paid with, like you said, with love, with the
right,
with appreciation, and you know they're sending also this to you. Yeah, so
yeah,
you're more sick. You're the more loves people send to you, the more bulletproof you become. Yeah. No, how many
definitely.
millionaires do you know that have a heart attack? Yeah, and how many millionaires do you know that they're unhappy? You know what I mean? It's no,
Ab-
it's
yeah,
it get more complex the more we
yeah, the more we give, the more we get.
exactly being on the space, being on the love, being on the space of contribution, being on the space of helping people, being on the space of being a contribution to others. This is something that definitely can you get paid in a currency that that is, in my opinion, that's my humble opinion, is bet way money. Yeah. So
Invaluable.
Matthew, anyway, is somebody listening to this podcast is in love with our conversation and want some support or
Uh-huh.
learn from you, yeah, about how can they have access to funds here in the United States, how people can contact you, how this process works,
Yeah, I'm
how can
at
they find you?
lesko.com. And that's a community. It's not only me. I started all my ideas and stuff like that, but what's happening is becoming bigger than me, which is nice because then I don't have to do everything because it's
Uh,
people helping people. People learn about it and then they help other members learn about it. So it's members learn how to use this. And I feel that's such more effective than me. I've been years, yeah. And so to be able to relate to somebody doesn't for the first time, coming into this, somebody who just learned last week is so much more powerful to help these people than I am. So, and I didn't design it, it just happened. And the good stuff happens by accident, but you have to create that.
absolutely, yeah. You have to be on the zone. So thank you so much,
All
man.
right.
This has been
My
amazing
pleasure.
broadcast.
Uh,
And for all of you
uh,
listening, see you in our next episode of How Brave Entrepreneur like Matthew break that wall and achieve first million. Bye for now.
bye.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.